Hey everybody, welcome back to our Maid Sale manga anime digital event where we're showing off the best and brightest from anime and manga, all the properties we all love to death. Today's spotlight is going to be an Evangelion. Before we get there, we have to talk about some of the great promotions going on at bluefinbrands.com. You can see right there we have a number of Studio Ghibli sales. We have buy two, get one free on towels, Ghibli towels. We have buy two, get one free on Ghibli puzzles. We have 20% off on our Ghibli plush. This amazing Delphinium, Darling in the Francs, for only $20 about spirits. Cooler, we've rented a cooler twice. So, I don't know how many more we have. We keep just finding a little bit extra, but it's only $45. It's half off. So make sure you go to bluefinbrands.com to get it. Going to talk about this bad boy a lot, the metal build. Sean's over there playing with it right now, getting it set up for you. And you are going to love it. It's an amazing figure. It's the centerpiece of all Evangelion collections. But, bluefinbrands.com has everything you'll need to know. Follow us at bluefinbrands to keep up on the latest and greatest in all things Bluefin. And, make sure you enter our contest. We're giving away an entire set of Gundam Universe. That's 11 figures from waves 1 through 4. And all you have to do is go to bluefinbrands.com, karate chop / contest, and enter to win. So, yeah, let's get this kicked off. We got an amazing panel. You might recognize some of these people from some of our other previous live streams. We'll kick it off first with Justin. How's it going, Justin?
I am fabulous, David. Thank you for having me. Always excited to be on your fun little shows.
Justin, we're talking Evangelion. What medium did you first watch Evangelion? I watched it on VHS cassettes. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. VHS, dude. It was getting passed around dorm rooms, just all these different tapes, and we're swapping and playing and trying to get through it as quickly as possible. That was before binging was easily accessible.
Or possible.
Unless you got. But I mean, if you had like all like 22 tapes or whatever, then you could probably go to town. But we were waiting on each other.
Oh, okay. AJ is back. He is the king of product knowledge of all of the IPs. AJ, how are you? And how did you first digest Evangelion? Are you a tape guy like us, or are you gonna show us up and say, "Oh yeah, I streamed it. I'm younger than you"?
No, I'm doing fine. I had watched it also on VHS and what was shown like on television at the time. So obviously I am there with you two, definitely not in that streaming age that people have nowadays.
Awesome. And we have our two brand managers who aren't shy to come embarrass themselves with the likes of Justin, AJ, and myself. We got Sean and we got David. Sean, how are you today? And how did you consume Evangelion?
I'm good, David. Well, my first introduction was on DVD, so I'm a little bit behind compared to you guys, but it was still early 2000s, I think. So, yeah, it was about the Toonami times when everyone was talking about those getting edited, and I got it on DVD.
So you never had to experience the horror of accidentally putting in a cassette that wasn't rewound and seeing the end of the episode front and center.
Yeah. Having to wait minutes to rewind.
Oh, man.
You pop in your tape, it autoplays, so you just sit back on the couch. You don't even have your remote. You don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, Shinji's going berserk. You're like, wait a minute, this is not the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Spoiled from the get-go.
Sean, did you have that DVD set where it had like the Nerve logo on it? It was like a giant box set and it had Nerve. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was actually,
I didn't have it.
When it was airing on Toonami, my sister was the one who got the DVD box set. And she was like, don't watch it on Toonami. I got the box set.
I own the box set too. I still have it, and I was recently told it's worth a lot of money. So, it's a keepsake. Not that I want to really sell it.
But if you're looking
David, in his red and black room, his favorite colors in the world.
Of course.
How are you doing today, and how did you consume Evangelion?
I'm doing good. Ready to talk about Ava. I started with DVDs as well. I think I'm the youngest one here, so I'm sorry for my elders having to watch it on VHS.
Might as well have been a cave painting or something like that.
Right. It's fine.
Back in the day with 8 tracks and smoke signals.
Yeah. You don't acted it out in front of a campfire.
Yeah, we had a Deki Ono just come to our house and tell us, here's the show, here's what it's going to be.
Oh man, but yeah, it was great. I didn't get the box set. We bought all the DVDs like individually. Well, rather they were bought for me because I was like 10 when I watched it. So, which once again, kids, don't. Not when you're 10.
Advice for everyone. There you go.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, Evangelion was kind of my first foray into like an anime series. I'd seen the like Ghost in the Shell and Ninja Scroll and Akira and stuff like that. But it was my first anime that I watched as like a continuous series. David, how far were you already an established anime watcher when you started watching Evangelion, or was Evangelion one of your first experiences?
It was one of my first. So basically, like for me, I watched Gundam Wing, and then I jumped right from Gundam Wing to Evangelion because my brother thought that there was a robot on each cover, and therefore they'd be similar.
Was he wrong?
He was absolutely wrong. But yeah, it was my second anime, basically.
Nice. What about you, Sean?
Well, in my case, it was from Toonami, and then my sister gave me the box set, and well, it was a Christmas time, so she got the box set for Christmas. I got Furikuri. So actually, it's both Gainax at the time, and Ano does the voice of the cat in Furikuri. So that's kind of interesting.
Nice. AJ, how far into your career of watching anime? Because I know you came out of the womb and you instantly you got like a Crunchyroll subscription and you had like footy pajamas and like a full-length pillow. How deep into your life was Evangelion? Was it one of your first animes, or had you already been established?
So I want to say when Ava came out and I was watching only like bits of the episode, it was like mid 90s, so I was still frolicking outside, before wanting to just stay indoors nowadays. But I want to say that I wasn't too experienced. I want to say it's near the earlier parts of my anime experience.
Nice. He didn't dispute the fact that he came out of the womb in anime.
Right. No, I did not. I will not.
He was born on the Going Merry, and it was amazing.
Yeah. You came out, and your mom was subtitled, and you're like, "Oh, I'm home."
Yep, I am the background character.
Nice, Justin. What about you? Was Evo one of your first watches?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was like Ninja Scroll and Akira and Ghost in the Shell that were pretty like the first couple movies that I saw, and then someone's like, "Oh man, you gotta check out this series," and I didn't even know what I was watching. It was like way over my head, and I'm like, I don't get it. Oh my god, my dog! She doesn't get it either. Yeah,
100% agreed. Rizzo agrees with you.
So I just remember just being like looking like a total idiot. Like my mouth is all open when I'm watching the show, and I kind of got one eye twitching because I don't understand what's happening. And it was crazy though, because so many of those other action movies that I had watched, there's characters jumping all over the place, shooting bullets and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, or ninjas hopping around. But Evangelion's interesting because there's so many scenes where it's just two people just like looking at each other and nothing really is happening. Like things are happening, but the animation isn't happening. It's just almost like a still shot. And then there might be some random walker by, or maybe a train passes under, or those crazy bugs are just making all kinds of loud noise. So it was a tonally and visually, it was completely different than anything I had ever seen before.
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
Cicadas? Is that what they're called? I always forget what those bugs
they're
are.
called cicadas.
Oh my gosh. I was hearing that in my sleep after I watched that.
I am used to that noise.
The sound that most reminds me of Neon Genesis is the opening theme. And I used to have real bad insomnia, so I'd stay up late at night, and I shared a room with my brother, who was the opposite. He was like an early riser. So I remember I'd be watching this show at like 2 a.m, where he's just like, "I gotta go to work tomorrow. I gotta go to school tomorrow," and it would be like.
Yo, for a song that's so upbeat, like it's called "Cruel Angel's Thesis." Like,
yeah,
it's so weird. It's so upbeat.
Quite the opposite.
Yeah, it's very opposite.
It's a fantastic piece of music, though.
Oh, definitely, though. It's one of the best.
What about you, Justin? I know you love it. You hum it in the shower, don't you?
I do. And like even when I'm just like eating breakfast, I just kind of do the do kind of like pen music, I'm just like, yeah, check it out. Look at this happy tonal shift that has happened now. All kinds of horrible was on my screen 2 seconds ago, and now we're just eating breakfast and drinking beer and having a good time at the table. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't even know until years after watching the show that "Fly Me to the Moon" was a Frank Sinatra song.
Right?
That's how uncultured
I know that song from Ava, not from Frank.
Oh, I really like that Ava song. It's not an Ava song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool that they had all the different voice actors sing the song at the over the credits. So it's kind of a fun little homage.
Mhm.
Of course, we're Bluefin. We're Bandai Namco Collectibles, so we are heavy on the collectibles. During the maid sale, we have a lot of different Evangelion merchandise on sale. Starting with this bad boy that Sean is playing with on the product cam. It's our metal build Ava Unit 1. It is a great thing. So as you can see, Sean's playing with his doll right now. His doll just
hold
happens
on.
to be Ava Unit 1. Once they get off my ugly mug. There we go. There we go. This guy, heavy. He's tall. He's purple. Can't go wrong with purple.
Now, the other metal builds for Evangelion are like 8.6 inches. Is that how tall that one is? Or is it bigger?
I think it's the same size.
It's the same.
It is, okay.
It looks relatively
We
the
can
same.
Oh,
put it next
no.
to this guy.
Trans camera.
happened?
He's left.
What happened?
He came to me. See,
Sean got kidnapped.
she was showing you size comparison.
I missed it.
Yeah, it's okay. You gotta be a quick one. The metal build is on sale. It's available at bluefinbrands.com. It's $285. It comes with just a ton of accessories. As you can see on the back of the box, it comes with it's got its dock. It's got a ton of weapons. Comes with the Lance of Longinus that it is super duper long and fun for pointing and poking and stuff like that.
But not good for barbecue.
Comparison here.
Yeah, well, he's
It should totally come with an Ava Unit 2 like head attachment that you could just
Oh,
spear right through it.
Right to the eyes.
Just skewer it.
Oscar got robbed.
She
the
did.
original one here. We got the Pearlescent 2020 Evangelion special. What do they call this? World 1 Test Type 2020 Evangelion.
Yeah, so this was the original metal build, and this is the new one, the new hotness, the 2020. It's got the nice little nice different paint job, but it still comes with a ton of accessories, just like the original did. If metal builds are not your thing, which I can't, maybe it's just can't afford a metal build, they're expensive. We do have the robot spirits. We have Ava 1, we have 0, we have Test Type 8. So we have a ton of the robot spirits. They range from Ava 1 is originally $70. It's on sale for $50. Unit 0 was originally $70. It's on sale for $50. And this bad boy was originally $98, on sale for $78 during the event. In addition to that, we have the fun figure arts minis. Of most of the pilots. We have Karu, we have Asuka, we have Rei, we have Shinji. You can get all 5 pilots for only $50.
That's a great deal.
Usually they were originally $30 each, so huge sale. And then we have the NX Edge right down here. Oops, which is out of camera reach. I'll move them over here.
I think they're $70 for the Figure Arts Mini Ava bundle.
Oh no!
Oh, did I lie?
He's loose.
Got the stand.
Whatever Justin said is right because he's
It's-
smarter than I am.
It's 70.
It's 70.
Yeah.
Don't say David said you got over 50.
But they are normal. They individually they retail for $30, so it's a heck of a deal.
I yanked him off his stand. Sorry. The
It's
NX
so
Edge
great.
was super
Good,
cool.
It looks
Especially
good,
if you, especially if you like SD Gundams and stuff like that. The NX Edge has a real SD kind of vibe. And like I said, the metal build comes with a cool little Lance of Longinus, and it's good for poking. There we go.
Nice.
Broadcam.
Yeah.
I should pick some stuff up. I actually didn't start even collecting Evangelion's figures till this year, mainly because I was so terrified of them after watching the show as a child. It took me a while to be like, do I want that in my room? And now that I play with them, I'm like, now I
It'll
do.
stare at you.
Dude, I remember getting Gremlins toys when I was like 4, and I had just seen the movie, and I opened up my Christmas present, I got Stripe, and I just throw it down. I started screaming like, oh my God, my mom's trying to kill me. Oh, it was nuts.
Oh man.
I'm with you, man.
I had a Gizmo plushie, Justin. And
Oh,
I remember
nice.
whenever my parents went out of town, I'd have them take Gizmo with them.
Oh, yeah. You like shoving food in his mouth and getting him wet? Take him.
That's right. I'm a dumb kid. Back to the series itself. I think one of the big talking points is how you feel about the main character Shinji Ikara. So it might be interesting. I think some of us have had different opinions that have maybe changed over time. I personally am not a huge fan of Shinji. I am a fan of Gendo, and that says a lot about me as a person. Uh, so David, what are your thoughts on Shinji and maybe even the pilots in general? I think a lot of people could kind of lump them all together. Are you a fan of Shinji? And if not, who's your favorite pilot, if any?
So as a kid, I liked Shinji. I felt bad for him because he had like the worst father in all anime, and considering that Goku exists, that's saying something. Like he was a pretty bad dad, and he had to deal with the fact that his mom was technically the thing he was piloting eventually, and the end of the world and all that stuff. But then, like as I got older, I'm like, bro, like I'm gonna need you just to get in the robot. All right, just get in the robot, Shinji. I'm gonna need you to go out there and help Asuka because Asuka is my favorite, my favorite character, my favorite pilot. All right, and I will stand by this to the end of time. She got robbed in the Evangelion. She beat the Ava series, and they were like, "Haha, hacks! We're just kidding. We're just gonna auto heal."
Yeah.
But yeah, my opinion on Shinji has changed the older I've gotten. It might swing around back again when I become a dad one day. I might go, "That kid ain't right. That boy ain't right."
We'll stay with that mentality the whole time. That boy ain't right.
It's interesting.
That boy ain't right.
You changed your opinion for the worse. I would have thought that you grow appreciation for him.
No, I get more harsh the older I get.
Nice.
Get the robot.
He'll be purchasing the white gloves soon.
Yes.
What about you, Sean? Were you a fan of Shinji as our main character, or not so much?
When I first watched it, I was like, yeah, he's 14, so he's going through some things and whatnot, and unfortunately, I'd say Atsuka is my least favorite character.
Hot take.
Because
I knew it.
when I rewatched Evangelion as an adult, I realized the whole reason, like, you have Ayanami who likes him, you have Kaoru who likes him. Ayanami is basically the soul of Lilith, and then you have Kaoru who's the soul of Adam, and they're both fighting over Shinji, who's this example of just like sympathy and humanity and everything. So, and in the case of Atsuka,
You still like redheads.
Yeah.
It's fine.
See, Evangelion, I believe, is what started the waifu wars, which was who you like better, Rey or Asuka. And this is it right here. We're on the opposite side, Sean. We're on the opposite side.
And you both are wearing blue and red.
Yeah.
well, have you read the manga?
Have you read the manga?
Some
Oh,
of it.
no, we're getting this deep.
Because basically, Atsuka, no one wanted her except for her mom. That's the whole like emotional connection, because she was actually a artificial insemination child. So
Yeah, she's got a lot of issues, but she's still pretty good.
like her father didn't even want her.
Yeah, her parents are terrible. That's not her fault.
Right.
True.
And hey, at least at the end, she got in the robot. All right, she went out there. She picked up a giant battleship and used it as a weapon. All right, she was in there.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest moments ever. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like,
she did her thing.
Yeah.
What about you, AJ? What are your thoughts on Shinji, and who's your favorite pilot?
So, backstage, I had already said I don't think I really favor any of the characters, and that being said, I don't think I really like Shinji, or I don't think I even like grew fondness of most of them. But with David's argument currently, knowing that Asuka did do her thing towards the end, I may favor Asuka more as my favorite pilot. But because they had also agreed that Pen Pen would be considered a good character, like an actual character, I'm just gonna hop onto the Pen Pen train right now.
That's safe. That's safe.
You can never go wrong following Big Fan or Masato. You can, what about you, Justin? What do you think of Shinji, and has your opinion changed? And who's your favorite pilot?
Yeah, I know when I first saw the series, I was not a fan of Shinji at all. I'm like, man, this kid's always crying about something.
Yeah.
He's always upset. He doesn't do anything. He just sits in a corner, and he's quit like 18 times. Like every third episode, he's like, I'm not doing this anymore. But you know what's interesting is I just rewatched it all like last week, and as an adult, I started to really like sympathize for this kid. You remember that they're only 14 years old. It's scary. He doesn't have a father. He has a father that wants nothing to do with him. He's scared. He doesn't know what to do. He's just trying to fit in, and I can see just the struggle that he has. And so now just kind of, I think even just being more cognizant of just like bullies and the politics that kids go through on a daily basis, just looking at it that way, I really started to sympathize for Shinji.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, we're introduced to him. He's like, he hasn't seen his father in God knows how long. He comes face to face with his father, and they're like, get in the robot.
Yeah.
Like,
It's cute, kids. Just get in the robot.
Yeah,
Come
this
on.
thing you've never seen before that looks terrifying, but you probably have no idea how to pilot. Get in there and go beat up this monster that's destroying Tokyo.
Yeah, so that was pretty brutal. So, I mean, I never thought in a billion trillion years I would ever be sympathetic towards Shinji, and a metamorphosis has taken place, and now I don't want to say I'm a fan of him. I just feel like I understand him. And as far as my favorite pilot goes, it's definitely Asuka, and I love her Eva Unit 2, and my very first metal build ever just happens to be
Zero.
her
Two.
Eva.
I see that you too are
That
a
is a
man of
really good
culture.
one.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of fun comments. MK22 says Shinji got in the robot, just late.
Yeah.
Super late. She
Super
was
late.
dead.
Yeah.
I like how he gets in the robot, goes and sees, and it's like, oh no, Asuka's dead. No.
Yeah. He's like,
Am I on time?
mine doesn't work too well. Like, I'm just kind of shaking the handles a little
that whole
bit.
scene.
No big-
That whole scene. And the worst part was she was about to achieve berserk status, and they were like, no.
Yeah, that was brutal. When they all fly up and drop all
Yeah.
the swords on her.
When,
Yeah,
when the arm splits in half, oh my god, that was. Oh.
yeah, that's gross.
Again, not to watch for kids.
No, I should not have watched it as young as I was.
But that is a really good point too, because her energy source is running out. They shot her cord, and she's like keeping track of the time. She's like, okay, I got about 20 seconds to take care of each one of these Evangelions, and then she goes to test. Shows her like ripping off heads and cutting them in half and smashing their faces in, and swinging their crazy not batleth things that they have, and
Right.
that was one of the coolest moments in all of the series.
You're also good at math, because as a kid, when I watched that scene, she's like, I have 20 seconds each. I had to pause and then bring up the calculator. I was like, wait a minute.
You're like,
And,
actually, let me get my abacus and make sure that these numbers
like-
line up.
I'm bad at math. I'm like, yo, she did that in a robot in the fight. She figured it out. I on my chair, I'm like, I can't figure this out. That's a lot.
I
You have
think
time.
even as an
Go for it.
adult, I would be doing the same thing. Hold on a minute. Give me some time. There really is 12 of you.
Is it 5 minutes? 5 minutes, or is it like Namix blowing up 5 minutes? Like, I need to know.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I
So,
got a couple questions.
so Dave, this is my favorite Shinji moment of all time. And even 20 years ago, I was able to acknowledge that this is the coolest thing ever. This was in episode 16 after he had been sucked up into that orb, and 16 hours had gone by, and then he penetrates it and comes through, and blood just raining down on him, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. And then next episode, you're like, okay, Shinji sucks. That's
I think as a kid, it was the, oh my gosh, what's happening?
I mean, really, that wasn't really Shinji doing it. That was kind of,
Right.
one like, I got to save my son because he sucks.
Right.
So
It's sort of a you are who you hang out with kind of thing. Like, he's guilty by association. But that moment right there was really, really cool. And then also when he was eating the
the angel,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, dude, the part I loved about that was how when like the scientists of Nerve were looking on, and Ritsuko's like, "What did we make?" Like they don't even understand what they actually built at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know it could do that. Did you?
It's like that was not in the instruction.
Who
manual.
approved this?
Yeah.
Right.
Our buddy Double X Nike says that Shinji's okay, whines a lot, but he reminds him of Shin from Gundam Seed Destiny.
Oh, I hate. Oh my god, that's a whole other. That's a whole other live stream.
As David
How
is the
about how I feel about
Gundam
Shin
expert,
Asuka?
makes sense.
But yeah, I love when Ava 1 goes berserk and just absorbs the angel's heart, and now it doesn't need to be plugged in and stuff like that. And it was so great how they gave us hope that Asuka was going to do that too. And we're like, oh, And like
So close.
every ounce of your body's like, all right, I know what's going to happen. And then like 30 seconds, they're like, oh my God,
Yeah. It's like, oops.
that's not how I thought it was going to go. That's
And
really
you know
quick.
what's cool about this shot is you can see that the 01 like grew back its arm, and it has that human looking arm. So it kind of elevates it to another level. You're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? These aren't just robots. These are like legit biological creatures. It's pretty nuts.
Mhm.
Almost like robots in disguise.
There you
Right.
go.
Hey, and I
Whoa.
love how. Hey, that's my other brand. We can talk about that later. But no, I really like how you can see kind of like the personality, from the Avas, throughout how they act during the show. Because like when Shinji refused to fight the Ava that had Toji in it, they used the dummy plug, to make him defend himself. But the next time they tried to force him to do the dummy plug, it wouldn't work because Yui allowed it the first time because Shinji was going to literally die if she didn't step in. Second time though, she's like, "Nah, Gendo, you on your own. Good luck."
Yeah.
And I love how you're able to get a little bit of her personality through just what Unit 1 does.
Unit 1. Okay.
The purple one, the cool one.
The cool looking one. But I bet
Purple and orange.
Justin would prefer, I'm sure, Unit 2. It has a cape at one point when it first
Ooh.
comes out. Justin loves capes. What about Ava's? Is there a design? I know Justin's is Ava 2. Mine is probably Ava 1. AJ, what's your favorite design of the Avas?
I'm gonna go also with 02. I think Ava Unit 2 is I like the color scheme. I mean, don't get me wrong, the purple and orange is really cool for 01, but I don't know. I think the red just looks really cool as a giant robot, and seeing that out there, at least in bright day, I'll be like, that's it, we're doomed. There's a giant red robot coming at me. Purple,
bunch of eyes on it, looks crazy.
Yeah.
I think that 02 matches the pilot, just like I feel like Ava 0 matches Ray as well. Like it just kind of seems like kind of subdued, doesn't have horns, and all. It's just kind of like a real muted design, and that fits Ayanami to where Asuka's Ava is just out there and colorful and crazy. To where Shinji's Ava, if I had to pick the pilots out of her, I don't know if I would pick Ava 1 for Shinji's. But what about you, Sean? What is your favorite Ava?
I would probably say 6. The guy that I got right over here.
Oh, let's get a close up one more time.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Look at that.
Nice.
Got 2 horns.
When they announced Rebuild, what was the original name? I don't know, whatever, 2.0, whatever. So they showed that, looked awesome, and then if you didn't watch the after the credits, you'd never even see this Eva. It was like, like in my case, like I thought they cut it for the film. So like I never saw that Eva. I saw the product and I was like, that looks cool. And not until like probably a couple years ago, I saw the scene where he comes down and like throws the lance and stops Shinji, and that's all we've seen him do.
Right.
Yeah. But in the rebuild, when they showed Eva 1 launching for the first time, and all the green is illuminated, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
My favorite Ava design is sad. It's Unit 3 because it was all black. I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. And then like by the end of the episode, it's just gone. It didn't get past one episode.
He's like, I want to be a pilot. I want to be a pilot. I don't want to be a pilot. I don't want to be a pilot.
What's your second choice?
Yeah, and it's gone. All right, well.
Well, what's your second choice then?
Right.
Second choice in terms of design would be Unit 1 in terms of design. Just because it's the main character. I think if Asuka could have somehow tricked Unit 1 into letting her pilot it, things would have gone a lot better for humanity.
Right. But that's test type, right? Is Unit 1? Yeah. Prototype is Unit 0, test type is Unit 1, and then production.
And then production type, Unit 2, yeah.
Production has cup holders. The other ones don't.
Like she should say, the first real Ava.
First one meant for combat. The other one's
never tap a soul.
Yeah.
Now, what about the angels? For me, all the angels are unique and they're memorable, but I couldn't tell you what episodes or what their names are and stuff like that. Is that the same for you guys? Do you guys feel they're just kind of like these cool designs, these nameless things, or do you guys know all their names and know exactly what episode they're in?
I think because I just watched it recently, I have a better like a recollection of them, like I really like the sea monster one when we get to meet Asuka for the first time. But there's some that are just really weird, like just a disc or like a giant butterfly looking or something, So I don't know. They definitely look cool, but I don't know what their names are. They could be like Chet or Herbert or whatever, and I couldn't even tell you.
Frank Sinatra.
Right.
Yeah, they have kind of weird biblical sounding names, but
right.
I think my favorite angel though has got to be the 18th angel, Man, because they came in at the end and just like, oh, you thought it was going to be a happy ending? No, we're going to find a way to screw ourselves over. The one wall they couldn't overcome.
You thought we were here to protect you guys,
right? All the things they pulled off during the whole show, all the impossible feats, the sniper rifle thing, the coming out of the Duroc Sea and eating an angel, they couldn't beat a human with malice.
Yeah, because humans are the worst, right? That's basically what we're learning from. Yeah.
Humans suck the show.
Third impact is inevitable.
Right.
But what if we control third impact, right? That's like their whole thing.
The spiel.
Now, how far in between watching the series and watching the 2 movies did you guys have? Because it's Death and Rebirth and End of Evangelion. So let's start with AJ this time. AJ, did you start watching it when the series was done, so you're able to go from one straight to the other one, or did you watch the other one years later?
There was definitely a big gap between the 2. I think I had to be like after I had seen the series, I'm like, all right, cool. I got on with my life, and then someone had come out like, you should go back and watch this. I'm like, oh, all right. So there's a considerable amount of gap. I don't remember the amount of time, but it took a while before I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I should watch it. And when I watched it, I'm like, wow, I forgot how crazy this series was, and I understand completely why there was a big gap for me.
What about you, Sean? Was there a gap in between, or were you able to roll right into the films?
I think honestly, I realized only probably this year when I rewatched the entire series with the rebuilds and all the movies, I had never seen all the episodes of Evangelion until this past year. So when the final angels, when Rey blows herself up, spoilers. When Rey 2, if something happens to her, I had never seen that episode. And I think I'd only seen half of each movie. So it was only until this past year that I binged everything from the series to the movies, then the rebuilds and reading the manga. So it was, I guess, this past year.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh, wow.
All new episodes.
Yeah.
It's like they added more episodes just for me. Now, Sean, you got the 801 down there built in a cool little pose. You want to show that off a little bit, just to kind of give you guys an idea of the flexibility and just kind of the cool things you can do. Just the posability on the metal builds is crazy. Show you all got swords and guns and pistols and different hands and all of the cool stuff.
So much stuff.
Yeah.
If you buy one of these, take a picture of everything before you take it out of the box, because you will never remember where any of that stuff goes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Justin and I had issues with packing it back, and it's like, where does everything go?
Don't tell me that. I gotta put this back.
I personally, I had to watch an unboxing to figure out where everything went.
And you work here.
Yeah.
Imagine everybody else.
I didn't get a chance to pull it out of the box.
Yeah, and the cool thing with all the accessories is you put it on your shelf, in an awesome pose, and then next week you can do something completely different, and you really get a lot of bang for your buck for the price point. A lot of statues and stuff. You set it and it looks cool, but it doesn't have that replay value. It just looks cool on your shelf. Or something like this, or even like the Robot Spirits or NX Edge, you can really, really put them in a ton of different poses. You can see, Ava 1 right now, the Robot Spirits comes with a cool AT field that he's just kind of bursting through, and it's just
that's always a cool effect too in the show. That's the whole goal, right? To get to that stupid AT field that just ruins it for everybody.
Yeah.
I can't penetrate his AT field.
You guys had a shield all along?
Right. That's cheating.
It's like when kids are playing tag or something, or playing like war, and they're like, "Nope, I had a shield. Sorry, you missed."
Force field.
So Unit 1 just goes, no, I'm sorry, no shield.
Yeah.
What about supporting? What about supporting characters? Masato is my favorite non-pilot, non-Gendo character. What about you, Justin? Who's your favorite not pilot?
Oh man, yeah, Masato is probably a pretty good character. She's pretty great. She's hot-headed. I think one that's kind of intriguing though is Dr. Akagi. She's kind of got a lot going on. You know, she's very reserved. She hates her mom. She's jealous of her mom. She might even be jealous of Masato a little bit. You know, she just has her cats and she keeps to herself. But she's also very damaged too, and we get little clips of that every now and again. And then in that one episode where you see that her mom had a relationship with Gendo, and how little Ray's like all calling her like an old hag and being all mean, and she straight up like strangles her. She's like, "Oh my god, there's a whole lot of drama in this family." And I think they did the less is more approach is great with her, because you know she doesn't really. At least we're given this idea that she doesn't really care if these 14-year-old children go off to their death. She's just trying to save humanity. So she has this sort of objective viewpoint, you know, like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And I think that's what's interesting with her, because in so many different science fiction stories, the scientists are always the bad guy, right? They're the ones that ruin everything in every science fiction movie ever. And then here, her best friend is someone that cares so deeply for these kids and takes them in and has them live with them, and just being like a parental unit for them for all intents and purposes. And the two just can't relate. One cares about cats, the other cares about kids. And it's just, I think it actually creates a really good dynamic for the two. And ultimately they have their little falling out. But I think just watching their relationship just sort of just stew for so many episodes, and then when it finally has that eruption, it just makes perfect sense. And I think in a lot of ways it's very relatable as a viewer, just to kind of see how this friendship sort of evolved and then ultimately fell apart.
Yeah, we've all got those coworkers we want to strangle.
Right.
Who's the guy who's always trying to befriend Masato? Befriend.
Oh, Kaji. Her ex?
Kaji.
Yeah, her
ex,
They did a little more than befriend.
I don't want to be gross on the live stream.
They had adult time, David.
Yeah.
Can't be saying that.
Yeah.
Trying to
Kaji
keep
was pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
And he flirts with Akagi too, though. Remember, he's always like all up in her business and invading her personal space.
Right.
But she just kind of goes along with it. But the three of them were friends in college.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in one of my favorite scenes, in the same scene when Shinji's going berserk and stuff like that. And he's underground. He's watering these watermelons, and he's talking to Shinji. He's like, "I'd much rather be watering Masato's melons, but these will have to do."
He died.
Yeah, and then. What about you, AJ? Who's your favorite supporting character?
I think I'm not gonna have anything lengthy, like Justin said. It's pretty much, I'm agreeing with you that I think Masato is probably one of the better ones. I think watching the series, or like even looking now, like I look at them aesthetically as a character design goes, because I had studied that. So I think she screams a lot of when the series was made, and I kind of like that, how her design looks. So
Nice. And what about you, Sean? Who is your favorite supporting character?
I would say the school friend Haruka. I don't think she was really developed in the TV series, but then in the manga and Rebuild series, they have her like engaging with the characters a lot more, and she goes on the school trip. I think in the anime, they just kind of follow her with it's like a side arc of there's a Toji who gets the EVA 3. It was basically like she wants to make him lunch. Yeah. And then she has lunch, and then Toji is like getting beat up by Shinji and the dummy Plexus.
Yeah.
Hikari.
Haruka.
Her name's Hikari, bro.
What?
there must be a difference between the English and the Japanese.
He read the book, so it's better.
The class rep girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Hikari.
David knows all about Hikari.
Wait, that's her last name.
Hold on.
Who knows?
Her last name is Haraki. Hikari Haraki.
Oh.
Lunch lady.
Lunch lady.
I thought it was Haruka.
That's okay.
Oh,
We got-
she's such a side character that it's like,
Dang, that sucks for her. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
a bad evidence what's happening right now.
Feels bad.
We got a lot of comments and questions in the comments, so definitely leave your questions in the comments. We got one. Thoughts on Shinji's father? I've already said that Gendo Akari is my favorite character of the show, or Akari Gendo.
You have a cardboard cutout of Gendo just at your desk.
He sits on the other side of my desk like this, looking at each other's eyes, and like careless
It's
whisper.
magical.
The careless whisper plays behind us. I'm like, wham! What about you, Sean? What are your thoughts on Gendo Akari, the greatest father in the history of all time? He literally was going to destroy the world for his kid.
was he? He wanted to take the place. He wanted basically the power that Shinji got at the end of the movie was destined for him. He was doing everything to give him that power, and then Ayanami chooses Shinji instead and gives Shinji the power. So,
Right, because he wanted to be reunited with his wife, right? That was the whole goal.
Yeah, but like
Somewhere thrown in there, that was the plan.
Wasn't it his fault though, by the way?
He was
like-
getting him that power, but he basically Ayanami at the end when like she takes Adam from his hand, she's like nah, and then like he's like I'm gonna find Ikari-kun and give him that power, and he's again what's the dad's name?
Gendo!
Gendo Akari.
I know him as Akari as well, but then yeah, so Dad was just trying to get all that power to get back his wife and the ultimate power. And
He loved too much.
But like the dumb thing is though, like Yui is in Unit 1 and she knows what he's been doing. What makes him think that if he brings her back, that she's gonna stay with him after what
Right.
he did? Like she's alive, bro. Like she's looking at you. That's why
Right.
Unit 1 grabbed him and was like, she like bit his head off, like
And he may have had two affairs too, right? Because like
he had
was,
several.
Yeah, Akagi's mom, and then possibly even Akagi, right? Because like she
Yeah.
goes all kinds of crazy with her little pistola, and she tries to self-destruct the whole city, and he has an effect on women.
Yeah.
I just never
he's
trusted
that
him from
dude.
the get go.
He's a smoother. Yeah.
He exudes confidence. He loves
Yeah.
he loves the ladies, and the ladies love Gendo.
He's like, dude, I got robots if you want to come back to my
Bro,
office.
like, he didn't even invent the robots himself, though. Like, I
No.
was like, Yui. Like,
He's
just
a poser.
dude. He's a dude.
Yeah.
Killing me. The best dude, I think is what you meant to say.
I don't know. I think he even like sleeps his way into the whole project because
Yeah.
there's the other guy that's kind of running it. What's his name? Like Fuyusuki.
Sealer or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah.
He's like, what is that guy doing here? I hate that guy. And then he sees the mom come out, and he's like, oh, I get it. I see what's
Right.
happening here. Yeah, the plot thickens. Yeah, you're the only one drinking the Gendo Kool-Aid, Dave.
Now, I think the only father in anime who is worse than him is Baki's father from Baki the Grappler. That's the only guy who I think is possibly worse. But then again, ending the world is pretty bad. So
He's not how you would say a good guy. Lots of questions revolve around the preference of the series you watch. There was obviously the original series as it aired in Japan. We got a couple different maybe edits when it aired on like a Toonami or when Netflix is slightly censored. Then there's the rebuild series. So Justin, do you have a preference on how you consume your Evangelion? Are you a purist and you go with the source material?
No, I'm not a purist by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, whatever I saw 20 years ago, I remember it being much more like off-putting at times. Like, you've seen these 14-year-old kids and weird like sexual things happening, and I'm just like, man, this is intense. And then I watched the Netflix version last week, and it was much more tame than I remember. So I don't know if I'm just remembering it wrong or if it was actually like censored in the true sense of the word to where it was ultimately changed. But I definitely remember it being a little bit more provocative 20 years ago. But and I haven't seen Rebuild, so I couldn't tell you.
You got to find those VHS tapes.
I know, right? No, I know. I just remember just being like, "What the hell am I watching?" The first time I saw it.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, G Kids is going to be releasing them on Blu-ray.
Yeah, Blu-ray digital distribution.
Oh,
Oh
that wasn't
man.
secret.
Wow.
No. No date yet.
What about you, Sean? What's your preferred method? Are you you prefer the original, or can you, what? I don't know. Did you even see the original? Sounds like there's a bunch of extra episodes you didn't see.
Well, I finally did watch it this past year. I'm hoping it was the original one. I'm not sure. It wasn't on Netflix how I watched it, but yeah, if it's one of the mediums where it's like the TV series, rebuild, or manga, I would probably go with the manga. It started at the same time as the TV series, but only ended like in 2015.
Oh wow.
Took them way a long time to finish it up, and they did a lot of housekeeping and like explaining things a lot better. So when David says that his mom is Eva 1 or inside Eva 1, it's arguable. It explains that a little bit better too. So if you want like the director's cut or all that info, read the manga.
That's a long time. It's like
so-
George Martin.
Right, and that's part of the whole thing, though, right? Because it's like, well, even with Akagi, her mom is like the Magi computer, right? Like she's
Right, yeah.
basically her brain is inside. It's got a couple of extension cords going into it, a USB cable, and it's like, bam, we have a supercomputer. So I mean, I just by that very notion, it makes it easy for me to believe when Dave says, "Yeah, his mom's inside Ava 01."
Yeah, I mean-
I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, I buy
She
it."
went in.
Yeah, I
and
can't
never
believe
came
it.
out.
It's right here.
The explanation is somewhat like how Shinji became the LCL as well.
Yeah.
There's a part where I think in the anime it just kind of has him say like mom, and then he gets spit back out. In the
Gotcha.
manga, it shows him like see something. It turns out to be Eva 1, and then his mom shows up, or like something that looks like his mom, and like protect him. So his mom's in the LCL, but she's not part of the unit. Like she was absorbed into the unit, kind of like Shinji was, but she didn't become the unit itself.
Right.
So
Because
in
the unit
Blue
itself
Alpha
is the evolution of humanity, right? Like ultimately, we're looking at what it means to be a person now, right? Is what their goal is.
Well, it's a human-made organism or something like
The
that.
Human
Right.
Instrumentality Project.
Right.
The whole weird.
HIP.
I think the thing is they don't have souls, but they want a soul. So that's why like Yui got absorbed into the or she became LCL, so she became that soul in the LCL, as well as Atsuka's mom as well, or half of her soul basically.
Right. The idea being is because we all have our own flaws, but when we're together in one of these crazy, in their new redesigned version of humanity, then it's going to be perfect.
That would be an awkward version of humanity. Everyone's just a gigantic.
know.
walking
I know.
around.
How am I supposed to play video games and eat chips if I'm just
Right?
sitting around in one of these Avas? It doesn't make
I mean,
sense to me.
I mean, yeah, we need a bigger planet.
Yeah, that's a problem. I don't like that. I'm not on board.
Well, good friend of Bluefin and professional pot stirrer Johnny Flores wants to know: Can Megazord beat the Angels, David?
First off, Johnny, I know where you live, Johnny. All right, but no, a Megazord could not beat the Angels.
Really?
Even with the sword?
They're
No.
more flexible, so I don't think so.
Remember all the damage we've seen happen to Abas, and they just go, "LOL, just kidding. I'm fine."
Can Tommy play his little flute dagger and woo it to sleep or something like that?
I don't think that would work.
Are we talking
He'll
US?
get smacked.
Because remember, at the end of the day, like the Megazords are more machine than the Avas are. Avas they're a whole other beast. Literally,
Johnny, how dare you?
Johnny,
The audacity.
the audacity.
I don't know, Justin. You
We
have a
love you,
Megazord
though.
behind you, and you have Ava 2. So maybe
Oh yeah, make them fight.
yeah, take them in the bathtub with you and have a
Yeah.
little like a Pee-wee's Big Adventure level fight with them.
Can you imagine?
you
I was always so
think-
jealous of Francis's little bathtub.
Yeah, this little pool.
Yeah, that's great. Rock'em Sock'em Avas, and it could just be like this.
Oh my goodness.
We've officially gone off the deep end. Someone said if it can pierce the core, it can take it.
Yeah.
If it can catch it though, I mean, Avas are hella fast.
Just grab the cord behind it and give it a yank.
I love the episode where they had to run to catch the falling angel, and the city itself reformed around it, so they couldn't just stop and turn. It's like, nope, we're gonna make a big long arc. You know, like he broke the sound barrier. I mean, that's pretty quick. I've never seen the Megazord, have a sonic boom behind it.
I like it when they're like, "What happens if we miss?" And like,
we die.
Sato's like, "Really, guy? Just catch the goddamn thing." It's like, why you gotta make it complicated? Just catch it.
Yeah, I gotta give Shinji credit on that, because he was there first, and his little he flexed so hard that the AT field kept it up. So I thought that was pretty cool.
The thing was in the rebuild when he catches it, and then the Eva entwines its own hands and like Rose hands and entwines hands around Shinji's Eva. That was like pretty creepy.
That was super gross. Super gross.
That's how Eva's mate.
Yeah.
Right. It's like Avatar with their little tails doing the red veining thing.
No, thank you.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Before everyone goes away, we do have a number of giveaways that you would want to listen to. First off, we have our ultimate Gundam Universe giveaway, where we're going to give away all 11 of the Gundam Universe figures from Wave 1 through 4. You can go to bluefinbrands.com/contest, or if you just go to bluefinbrands.com, there is a banner somewhere on the page. It'll take you right to this. All you have to do is a couple different things. You get an entry if you go to certain websites on our webpage, or if you follow us on social media or anything like that. In addition to that, if you go to the social channels of the Twitter accounts of @BluefinBrands or @Tamashi Nations, they are giving away individual figures from the line, and instructions on how to enter for those are on their pages. I believe as of today, they have contests for the Wave 4 Tallgeese and my brain stopped.
The Wing Gundam from Wave 1.
Yeah, so those are available from today. So go follow us @BluefinBrands, @Tamashi Nations, and enter to win those contests. And thanks to everyone for joining us. Make sure you go to bluefinbrands.com. Check out all of not just our Evangelion stuff, but also anything manga anime related. Got a lot of great deals, a lot of real deep discounts, and the sale goes till the end of the week. So thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much.